Good afternoon, everybody. It's May 26, 2024 at 1:48 p.m. Sunday. I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome newcomers and welcome those back to my channel. Please remember to hit the thumbs up. And if you're a recent subscriber, hit the notifications bell so that you receive notifications that I post a new video. And also, if people are being unsubscribed, it's not me. Sometimes TheTube is unsubscribing people, so what you'll have to do is go back and subscribe and hit the notifications bell again. But anyway, if you hear any kind of rain outside, it's because the skies have opened up and we have a thunderstorm here in eastern Kentucky. And actually, the notification said that we have a tornado warning. I don't know if we've ever had a tornado warning before. We live in a wooded area, so branches are falling down from the sudden rain and wind. But because we're located in the valley, tornadoes tend to not hit these depressions. They tend to like flat land. So anyway, but you never know. You know, tornadoes, Mother Nature is being manipulated by the powers that be, so you just never know. But and thank you everybody for commenting on the last few videos. And also, I posted the video about my clothing damage, and then out of the blue, another subscriber sent me some evidence of her clothing damage, but she never did see my video. So it was just so interesting when I told her that I was posting it and that I put a link back to my video. She says, I never saw your video. I just sent you the photo of my pants, which is in the community section, to show you that I have a brand new pair of pants and they sliced the seam and made it unsightly. And that is what these criminals do. But I have a brief testimony, and it was in response to seeing my video about my clothing damage. So we've got a female subscriber who tends to not post comments in the comments section, but she'll tend to send me comments privately. So I do have permission to share this small testimony. So she writes as follows. In 2008, when I had a visit from an old childhood friend that now works for the Federal Reserve, something triggered this gang stalking for asset stripping. She was hitting on my husband, and I was so mad that I gave her a ride to the airport 2 hours away and didn't speak one word. I gave her a hug. I wished her well. But I hope to never see her again. Little did I know she triggered this program for me. Shortly after, strange events in the house started happening. I heard my ex saying threats towards me and the children. Looking back, he may not have said anything at all. Long story short, the marriage fell apart. He moved to our second house, and I initiated the divorce. The day after he moved out, my laundry, which were all blacks, were bleached, and all my work clothes were ruined. I thought maybe he had done this, but looking back, he had nothing to do with it. The asset stripping agenda had started. Shortly after I filed, I started hanging out with this firefighter. Doors were being left open, damage to clothing and property just like yours. A healthy pine tree fell on my bedroom window at night, almost crushing me in my sleep. My dog was being let loose at night. Someone kept unlocking the gate to the backyard. Oh, I've heard that before. Appliances kept breaking. Oh, well, we know nothing about that, right? Appliances kept breaking. Pests showing up out of nowhere. Glass and nails were on my property. Endless car repairs. Petty stuff. Almost daily. Reports to police resulted in questions like, quote, is there proof of forced entry, unquote? Well, there wasn't any proof because someone had a key. I changed the locks. It happened again. Meanwhile, someone kept triggering the alarm at my business, so I had to go in the middle of the night and meet with police to walk through the business. I finally called the alarm company and disabled my account. There were so many events that nothing made sense until you started posting. Well, I'm so glad that my posting what's happening to me here is waking people up to the nonsense that's happening across the United States to innocent people like yourself. I'm so glad. I do it for a number of reasons. I do it as a testimony. I do it to provide evidence. I want the criminals to see that I'm onto them. I want other people to see what's happening. I want it to trigger in others that this may be happening to them. And it is also a testimony that I will leave behind one day when I am unalived. And by the way, I'm just going to say for the record, I am not suicidal. I would never take my life. Never. I have a hard time unaliving my rooster who was deathly ill. And I knew that I had to do it. I couldn't do it. I cried for 3 days. Honestly, I cried for 3 days. So yes, I'm so glad that this is helping you. Long story short, again, looking back, some military people owned houses around me, and the other neighbors have stars in their houses. Enough said. So I'm not sure what that means. Oh, okay. Stars in their houses. Okay. The next guy I dated was part of the occult brotherhood. The damages were getting worse and worse. He was reporting to DC. I saw it on the phone bill. It's an occult military operation organized by foreign banks. And then she writes in parentheses, my properties were eventually repossessed, which is a strange term in and of itself, don't you think? How do you exactly? How do you repossess properties that you already own? By the foreign bank that my quote-unquote friend works for. Oh, the plot thickens. Society is not what we were told. P.S. You are welcome to share this. Love you lots. Well, thank you so much for sharing this testimony. It's extremely important. Not only to show that, one, you were a married woman and this was happening to you because of a woman hitting on your husband. Now, I've heard this story before. Not your story, but I have heard of this before. So this woman was a honeypot. She was probably set up to hit on your husband and break up your marriage. She saw something in you, your business, your homes. She saw what you had, which was tight. And she set out to end it and break it up. And she wanted a part of it. She wanted all of it. Now, I will attest to the fact that I've changed my locks so many times. And I appreciate everybody leaving comments in the comments section about getting cameras, change your locks, get hidden cameras. Okay, I'm just going to say this again, and I don't mind sharing this again and again, because there are newcomers coming in all the time, and not everybody knows my story. But again, this testimony is not about me, it's about this woman, but I'm just wanting to validate that you can change the locks any number of times. They will knock you out and find the key. When you're not home, your house is not secure. I mean, you can fairly secure your residence when you're inside. You can put locks on your windows so that they don't open. You can put locks on the doors. You can put bars. You can put pins, horizontal and vertical, in your sliding glass door, which is what I finally did at 52 Sutton Drive, Manalapan. And the fact that she finally disabled her alarm, smart move in a way. Because you know why? The police who are involved in all of this, all they had to do is make a phone call to your alarm company and say, hey, we're performing an investigation, right? You know how that works. Oh, we're performing an investigation. We've got this dossier, and we need to look through the security camera footage. But they're not really looking through your footage. They're disabling it. They're cutting out parts that they don't want you to see or share with anybody. They'll turn it on and off. There was one time they actually set off my alarm while I was eating lunch with a friend up the block. Fortunately, I wasn't far away, but it interrupted my day. And I went home, and somebody had triggered the alarm on one of my windows. Nobody was home. And this happened to the same window 3 times. And of course, this is happening to it. It never happened while I was home. And you know, sometimes you can set the alarm, like when you're in the house, you can set your alarm on, so that if anybody breaks in during the nighttime, the alarm will go off. It never happened when I was home. It only happened when I was away. So these alarm companies, they're all in on it. And we already know about the ringy-dingy-ding Ring cameras. I had a deal with Amazon and all the police departments around the country. Well, that's done. That was a violation of human rights, civil rights, and there were lawsuits about it. And now Ring cannot provide your footage, your personal footage that you pay for, to the police unless they have a warrant. Unless they need it, unless there was a crime, a suspected crime in the neighborhood. They can't just ask for your camera footage because they feel like it. So I understand about this asset stripping agenda. First, what they did is they set out to dismantle your marriage. That was the first thing, with this woman hitting on your husband. And of course you were mad. Because I have to tell you, there are very few men out there that actually get, that are actually astute enough, aware enough to take action when a woman is hitting on them that's not their wife. You know, because men can be very egotistical. They, welcome the attention. They think it's so cool, I'm so flattered. But meanwhile, accepting all that flattery and that attention from somebody that's not your wife does piss you off. And instead, he should have turned to this woman and said, "Hey, I'm a married man. Bye-bye. Go on your merry way. I'm not going to buy into your flirting, okay?" There are very few men that are willing to do that are aware of it. They're just not aware that it's happening, But hopefully more men will wake up to people hitting on them that aren't their spouses or girlfriends, and that it is a honeypot being set up, especially if you're a targeted person. Well, I definitely won't have any of that here. There isn't anybody remotely here that I would be even remotely attracted to. But anyway, instead they send the honeypot cats, right? The honeypot feral cats, who's gone, by the way. He's gone. Hopefully he won't find his way back, but I guarantee he's got a tracking device on him. I guarantee the criminals that placed him here have a chip in him, and I'm sure they found him wherever he ended up. As long as he doesn't come back here. So anyway, I'm so sorry to hear that your marriage ended over this. I have a question for you, and you can respond privately. Do you feel, and of course now you're a targeted person and years have passed. Do you feel like going back to when this was happening between you and your ex-husband now? Of course you didn't know it was happening. Do you feel that you should have stayed in the marriage? Do you feel that it could have worked out somehow? Of course, this is your side of the story. We don't know how he was feeling and how maybe he was being mind controlled. So anyway, any comments that you want to provide me privately or down below, I appreciate it. And anybody else who has had their relationship break up, your live-in partner, Have you had a honeypot cat sent your way? How about a honeypot dog? If you've had a honeypot sent your way, please leave a comment down below. Feel free to email me and share your story with me, and I'll be happy to read it out loud. And it is raining like crazy here. But I hope everybody's doing well. Please remember to hit the thumbs up. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. I appreciate everybody, and thank you again for this testimony. And I'm so glad that something I'm posting is helping at least one person, and maybe more, to wake up that these things are contrived. They're being orchestrated behind the scenes. And yes, you're right. Society is not what we were told. It's not just society. It's our reality. The entire reality is not what we were told. Our history, as explained to us, is not the real history. And I don't know much about the Bible. I'm not going to get into religious things, but I guarantee that whomever really wrote that Bible, whoever really wrote it, may not have had all of our best intentions. Okay, I'm just going to say that for the record. There may be some predictive programming in there. And again, I'm not religious. I'm not going after anybody who is a Bible person. I didn't grow up with a Bible. I didn't have a Bible until I was an adult, and I cannot quote anything in there. So I'm a novice. So this is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading, signing off for now.